another episode of Elevate. I am your host, Jay Caraway, with my co-host, Mr. CJ Boyd, in the building.
Yes, sir. What's good? What's good? What's good?
Yes, sir. So today's topic, we're going to jump on into it because I'm really interested to hear your thoughts and your feedback on it. I love the fact that you thought of this because it's something that, for me personally, not only in work, but just in my day-to-day life, it's something that I feel like I'm faced with more often than not. But
Yeah.
for those that don't know, our topic today was, when is it? Go, CJ, you said, because you worded it better than what I could.
Got you. So, the title of today's video is, what is it when they say, too black? You know what I'm saying? Is being quote unquote too black an issue? That's kind of what we're talking about. And I just came with the idea because actually I came up with the idea because I was watching uh I've been hooked on these Eric Mays videos, man. And if y'all don't know who Eric Mays is, man, he is a politician from Flint, Michigan, and he knows the law. Yeah, y'all just type Eric Mays, and y'all just see, what type of person he is. But anyway, he's a black man, and he may speak with a you know he may speak quote unquote, too slangish, too blackish, and of course, and during the workspace, our counterparts, Caucasians, they can always, I never hear about being too white, or too
Right,
country. It could be country as hell and this, that, and the third. But the moment, when it's too black, when we start getting too comfortable, then that's when they either see us as a threat, or the other part is they see that as being unprofessional. So,
right.
as like, I just kind of want to just hear as far as, well, for one, do you believe in that whole, is there such thing as too black? And secondly, like, just talk about it, because us as black people, that's something that we always, are told, about that whole, hey, we got to tone it down, and versus
Right.
our other counterparts, I don't never hear them. They got to tone it down. So.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I would definitely like to say. I think you hit it dead on when you said, our counterparts. You never hear of them being too quote unquote white, or you never hear of them being saying, hey, you gotta tone it down a bit. Like, it's in our culture and it's in our DNA, as far as just humans, to be who you are, right? And to know and understand that there's certain ways and certain things that you do and don't do, right? So, example, you're not gonna go to a church and be cussing, right? Like, you're not gonna walk into somebody's funeral and be like, hey, what's up, man? Like, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to it, to me, it's not about being too black. To me, it's about, do you have what we call quote unquote home training? Have you been raised properly, or have you been raised to know how to act in certain environments or know how to move in certain environments? And I'll be honest with you, for me personally, that was something, starting out in my career, that was something that I not necessarily struggle with, but something I had to adjust to. I had to learn that, okay, there's certain aspects or certain parts of me that I can't give everybody. And it had nothing to do with just, me being black or being too black. It had everything to do with individuals and personalities and individuals and their beliefs, or how they see or what they see fit, so being able to, what I would like to call, adjust, like, prime example, we can go somewhere and we can feel good in sweats and a t-shirt, as long as we got a fresh cut, we straight, right? But
Yeah.
there's certain environments that we know, like example, if I'm going to an office setting, I'm not walking in like this. Just on the sure fact of what you put out there, what people see. Perception is everything. So if the perception of me is, oh my God, like, yeah, he may know what he's talking about, but look at how he presents himself, or look at the perception that I have of him, your mind is already tainted. So, example, like us, as far as being young men seeing women, if we see a woman with a short skirt on, we automatically thinking, oh, she looking for attention, and she may get it, but it may not be the attention she want. But the perception of her naturally becomes, oh, she with it, or you could tell how she dressed that, this is the attention that she's looking for, seeking. Us as Black people, I feel like it's up to us to be careful, in a sense of, don't hide who you are, but also know when it's time to let your true self show, and when it's time to, okay, let me not dial it back or tone it down, but let me make sure these people know that I'm no idiot. Let me make sure these people understand and realize that I have the ability to be in a corporate setting as well as a kickback. It all depends on that. So for me, I love that you brought that up as a topic, because I found myself, I was talking with Melissa, and I asked her, because I have, a bunch of like Black Panther shirts. I have a sweatsuit that says black privilege. And I asked her straight up and down, like, does it make you uncomfortable when I wear these things? Especially given the fact that we grew up two totally different lives, as well as, some of her friends, I don't know them like that. I don't know if they feel a way or feel uncomfortable, because everybody's not educated on Black Panthers. Everybody's not educated on what it means to be a young Black confident man. Everybody doesn't accept that. So for us, I feel like representing that, especially me and you, CJ, like having a son, having kids that look up to you, and representing that, to me, that says everything, because that's something that they'll never forget for their whole lives. They'll be able to say, my dad was not only a Black man, but he was a prideful Black man, and he was a Black man of intelligence, and a Black man that knew how to get the things that he wanted. He knew how to obtain things and make things work. But you got the
Yeah.
floor. Let me hear from you.
No, yeah, absolutely. So so one of the things I remember my uncle, letting me know before he passed away. He was telling me how, hey, there's nothing wrong, with nappy hair, and due to the state, he may have actually just been talking about, like, just ain't nothing wrong with nappy hair in general, but because he was passing, I took that as, hey, there's nothing wrong with truly being yourself. And I feel like us as Black people, that we come to a point of our lives, once we are successful, that we do have to maybe switch up and be a little bit more professional. And I feel like some people take that as, that you're switching up, that you're, this, that, and the third. And I used to think like that. I used to be like, oh man, you switching up on a kid, you know what I'm saying? Because you acting, a little different, you acting funny. And I remember I had one of the guys, that he was telling me, he was like, man, it's not that I act different. It's just because, I know my crowd, and I know if I want to keep, what I'm saying, this job, I can't come in there, a certain way, and unfortunately, I was like, man, this ain't right. This ain't fair, because being country, being considered, a redneck and doing all that, that's socially acceptable, even though it is a little bit of unprofessional. Well, quote unquote, I'll say quote unquote, because I don't think it's really unprofessional, to talk and to speak with a dialect, depending on where you're from. And, most of us, and I'm talking about us as Black people, when you grew up in a urban community in a neighborhood, you're going to talk a little bit different than somebody that's, not from that. So I don't feel that's an issue. And same thing with white people. I don't feel, if you country from goddamn French Lick, Indiana or something, you know what I'm saying? Then, that's fine, but they just, like they consider that, just a country boy, and that's fine. But when we come up, we say words like, what I'm saying, or we start having that, we start talking with them, with the dialects and the tones, then it starts to become a little bit of unprofessional. And I always used to be like, why is it like that? Like, just why? I used to think like, man, why is it like that? Why this, that, and the third? And it just took until I was in, that corporate seat, and I realized, the different type of Black people you run into, just the different type of Black people that you just run into, and you have some of those people, they're not, well, what makes them, and I'm not switching topics, but in my opinion, what makes you a quote unquote a Oreo, or somebody that's a Black person, and we say, oh, you acting white. I don't mean that by when I say you want to talk correctly and you want to talk, with correct grammar. What I say that is, you start to not act like you're not like you're not Black. Like, and I'm like, hey, you know what I'm talking about, right? And they say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't. You just, I'm like, come on. I'm like, really, you really don't. You know what I'm saying? Is that a third? So anyway, that you run into that a lot, and I just feel like that whole being too Black. I feel like some people has identified being too Black as being unintelligent, and you don't know what you're talking about, and you're just from the streets and you're ghetto and you this, that, and the third, and that couldn't be further away from the truth. For one, let my work, show for itself. If I'm talking all that, but I'm getting everything done in a timely manner, then it shouldn't matter. I shouldn't have to switch up a whole completely. I should still able to be a little bit of myself, because that's what the that's what the managers, that's what your supervisors, I mean, they act like themselves, hell, my director, the white boy, countryman, this, that, and the third. And I mean, and that's fine, but I shouldn't be looked at as anything less just because of how, just how we speak, so that whole, is being too Black, is that a bad thing? And I don't want to grow up, and I don't want to tell my son, like, yeah, like, you may have to tone it down. Well, no. Let me correct myself. I don't want to have to, tell my son, and have my son feeling like there's something wrong with him. And
Right.
you could be further away from the truth. No, there's not nothing wrong with you. Now, obviously, you just like you said, like we're not gonna go to a funeral and just be like, yeah, this, that, and the third, MF was, whatever. Even though I'm a fan of, hey, I feel like, hey, you say what you say, and that's what it is. But shoot, man, I also want to let my son know, like, hey, remember who you are, and just take that as the leadership goes. Know what you're actually like. Let your work speak for yourself. And most employers and most managers can kind of excuse the bullshit, quote unquote the bullshit. If you're always on time, if you're doing better than everybody else. But I feel like that's a stigma that is gonna, unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna change too drastically, but I mean, that's just kind of just how I'm feeling, and I mean,
Yeah.
I wish I would like to know maybe why, like, why would you feel that way? But I mean, of course, I mean, we all know what it is,
Yeah. I mean, we all understand too that you're in a country and in a world that wasn't designed for you and mine. So when you oppose being a threat by being able to use your brain or being able to speak the proper English or being able to have, certain levels or certain positions, you become a threat. They look for you to slip up. They look for you to make certain mistakes. One thing about it with me, with the position that I'm in, I was wondering myself, is it a problem with? Is it a problem with me coming to work wearing my earrings? Like, those are questions that I had to ask because I was noticing, when I do go to the office, I notice other people that had beards or had earrings in. And I was like, well, hold on. It's, as corporate America becomes more accepting of certain things, it's more like they're embracing the culture, they're embracing the people. So it becomes, hey, yeah, you could wear a suit, but you don't have to wear the tie. Like, lose the tie, business casual. Okay, you don't have to wear the dress shoes. Let's go ahead and throw on your forces or throw on your Jordans with it, right? Like, those type of things are becoming more as they understand and realize that our culture has not only influenced the world as far as just entertainment purposes, but we're influencing the world as far as just business also. So you hire, like, you being a young man and you came in and you interviewed and they hire you, CJ, they're going to look at you and expect, okay, well, we're going to get fresh, hip ideals, or we're going to get fresh, new marketing towards the younger that they don't understand what a necktie is. So they're looking at it like, well, that's how you look great. You look fine. Like, that's business casual. So with that, and COVID has changed up so many different things, but back to our point as far as like being too black, like me personally, it's certain times where I'm out in public and I can't, it's not even just black people, it's just ghetto trash. I can't stand it. Like, we've been raised to know better, like, if I'm going, prime example, I love going, me and Melissa and Justice and, all the kids, we love going to Benihana's, right? And when we go to Benihana's and it's like, sitting at a table and it's just not just black people, white people too, that are loud, obnoxious, acting like they, never been nowhere before. Or I hate when we're out somewhere, and this is what I don't like about black people, and I address it and I approach it every time. If I'm hearing a young black man talking in front of other people and using the N-word, like, I'm big on that. I'm going to pull you aside and say, hey, would you be comfortable if that man over there called you that? So why are you saying it now? Because you're giving them leverage to feel like, hey, I can use it because you were using it. I thought it was proper. I thought it was the right setting. I thought that's how you guys embrace and greet each other, like, to me, that's like, don't give them the ammunition to shoot you with. Don't put the bullets in the gun for them. So certain things I feel like we have to take accountability for and know and understand different settings and know and understand when it's okay to embrace your culture and embrace your people. But because we're already, considered loud or already considered aggressive people, I don't ever want a position of letting anyone typecast me or label me as such, And it's not just in the work setting. I live out here in Royal City. So when I go to Walmart, just like I did earlier today, wearing this t-shirt, like, I know I'm going to get people to look at me, but I want to see what type of person you are. Are you going to be the type of person to say, you know what? I don't really know much about it. Can you tell me what that shirt means or what it represents to you? Or can you, like, for me personally, if I see someone with a Confederate flag, I don't necessarily automatically jump to, oh, you racist, you don't like black people, or you want to see me hurt. If I feel comfortable enough, you can tell by people's energy. I'll ask you, I'll have a conversation. hey, what that mean for you? What does that represent for you? Or even being at work, like I'm, being too black, like me, there's no such thing as that. So to me, if we're moving in a society or moving in a world that says, hey, we're all about diversity, we're all about inclusion, and we're all about accepting everyone as one, accepting everyone for their unique ability or their unique cultures, then bro, to me it's like, well, what are we talking about being too black? Like there's no such thing as that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to what's going on, Brian? What's going on, my man? H Rap.
Yes, sir.
Um, I wanted to say so. It's certain things like for example, which is why when it comes to our hair, when it comes to us getting braids, if you grow your hair out long enough, braids, um, grills, jewelry, the way we dress. When you see these signs and when you see these saying, it's not allowed here, you know what you're doing. You guys say any, but you know who specific group you're talking about. You're talking about black people. Y'all say cornrows like bro, ain't a lot of white men rocking some cornrows. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I ain't even never seen that like a day in my life. I've never seen a white dude like a white and I'm not talking about light skin. I'm talking about a white dude that has blonde hair. No, we know who you're talking about by that. I've never. Okay. Time out. Time out. Time out. Now, when you start saying things of that nature, and you're talking about, we kind of know which ethnic group, you know what I'm saying, you're talking about. Some of the things that I like, some of the things, like for example, like when it comes to, like our job, right? Wine is considered professional, and beer is even considered a professional drink. You start talking about liquor, they like, nah, we can't do that. I'm like,
Mm.
it's just now. Granted, the science, I do understand. Literally, liquor has a lot more alcohol than beer and wine and things of that nature. So I understand that, but you're starting to exclude. Like we know, like that's something that we do. Like that's something that we do. Like for example, hell, you know what? When I get my money up, I want to get me. I want to get like a nice, like a nice SUV. Like I'm thinking about like getting like a Durango SRT, the '92, the 4-seater joint. Well, like the SUV joint. But you know what? I really want a Cutlass. I want an old school 1996 Impala SS. And trust me, best believe if the money get right, oh, I'm getting that. Best believe, but my point is, I'm sorry, no, that
Nah,
was my
you
baby
good.
boy. I was hearing, yeah, I was hearing my baby boy. Yeah, I was making sure, um,
That man said a 96 SS Impala. I ain't mad at that.
Nah, hey, I want that for real. I want that.
Yeah.
But no, but the point is, it's like I feel like you're, in which that's what I'm kind of trying to get into, that whole like what's deemed professional and what's not, because of course to us, the cornrows and the dreads, I mean, like that's a part of our culture. Like, and for them to say, no, we're just not talking, we're talking about anybody. Come on, bro.
Right.
Ain't no
Yeah.
white man about to be wearing no damn nigga no dreads. You know what I'm saying? That's just not a part of the culture. So so you're doing that. You're trying to exclude a certain race of people, and you know what you're doing by when you're saying that. And you know, it's just not right, and that's something. Like, and I always tell myself, I say, hey, if I'm ever in a position of management or power or whatever, I mean, don't get twisted. Company law is company law. I get that.
Right,
But if
right.
I can change that, if I can change that stigma, because to be honest, it shouldn't matter about what I got on to a certain extent. As long as I'm getting my work done, as long as everything is in order, then we should be good. But when you start trying to exclude a certain, like that's a part of our culture, and y'all know, I mean, man, like we're black, we don't do comb overs, like you know what I'm saying, like. Bro, we know who you're talking about. But when you say the comb overs and this, that, and the third, and yeah, no, ain't no a lot of brothers unless you just got some weird brothers that don't perm their hair for some reason. That want to, but that's just not, But but that whole black thing, it just comes to me because we have a lot of black people that's people in my generation. We're starting to come of age, and we're starting out. I'm seeing a lot of us take some corporate positions, but I'm seeing a lot of us,
Right.
a lot of us is, which I feel like some companies are starting to recognize this, and maybe we should change up because we're not getting, the demographic we're looking for. We're starting to get some of the same type of people, and so I just feel like that whole notion of what's professional and what's not professional, that standard, it needs to change, and it needs to change, quickly, because
Yeah.
I mean now, and there is a lot of lawsuits and stuff that's going on to try, especially with the hair piece or whatever, and I know it's it's a system that needs to be broken. It's just, it's a system that just needs to be broken because I'm not feeling that whole, when you want to tell somebody, that you're, like to tone it down, because you don't tell
Right.
our code, especially when, when they want to chew on that tobacco, doing all this and spitting it or whatever. I'm like, man, what the hell professional about that? What's so
That,
professional?
you know
You know what I'm saying?
what's funny? You know what's funny to me, man, is like it goes back to what we were taught, years ago. Most people feel what they don't understand, right? So
Right.
as far as the hair piece, when it comes to the braids or the dreads, like, man, my former boss, bro, he rocked his fro. He had dreads, he had braids, and he rocked the fro. No problem. And the thing was with him was it doesn't matter what I come in like, because one thing about it is he knew how impressive he was, meaning his work spoke for itself. When you got, articles in New York Times, and when you have, articles all over the world, people talking about you, writing about you, and you have kids that are graduating from Harvard, like, bro, that's it's not much that they can say to you. And not only that, but they would always tell him, like, it was funny because me and him had that conversation, and he was like, "Be the Bruce Wayne," and I was like, "What do you mean?" Like, I didn't catch the analogy at first, and what it is be that mysterious person where they're, oh, CJ's super intelligent, super smart, but we don't know nothing about his personal life. We don't know anything about him personally. Like, where are your kids, or like, what's going on in your life? Like, he's big on that. Like, he will come in the office, of course, people that he knew or the people that he felt comfortable with, he would, sit there and have conversations. For me, like, I was working with a CEO one time that he's very old school. So he kept bourbon in his office, offer people. Like, if you went into his office, it was like, hey, you want a glass of bourbon? And it was like, I'm with you. I was like, shit, you give me that. We finna be in this bitch. We finna get lit. Like that's how I felt. But at the same time, I had to remember, like, okay, this is old school. Like I wasn't prepared for that. Like I didn't know because that's not something as far as our generation that we see. So for him, it was like, oh yeah, this is nothing. Like this is what we do. You come in, you get out of meetings and you uptight or whatever. You get you a quick glass of bourbon and chew some gum to get the smell off about your day. And it was like I wanted to partake, but I was nah, because you're gonna hold that against you. Because I felt like, man, you had some cognac. If it was or some Remy, then yeah, you speaking my language. We go ahead and get right in here. But it's just that part of it, that difference. And I feel like, especially with your age group and your generation, bro, y'all are making changes where corporate America does not look like what corporate America looked like when I first started in it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, even for me, it's not necessary to wear the tie anymore. It's not necessary to, oh, I'm put on a 3-piece suit. Like, no, you good with slacks, nice button up, don't even have to button the top button and put on your sports coat. Like you good with that. So it's changing because we're becoming the majority, not the minority anymore. So with that, I mean, I feel like especially you know what I'm saying, with what you doing and what you about to partake in, we need more of that. You see now they're accepting the tattoos, not necessarily on the face, but they accepting, okay, you have tattoos, you have a full sleeve, as long as it's, I guess you would say put together nicely, it's cool. They're not, it's not frowned upon like it used to be, So that just shows you that times are changing and people are being more accepting of things. Now, granted, you already know this. When you're in the position, you worked HR. So when you see certain names come across your desk, you already know, like, bro, you probably ain't gonna get it. A Laquavius come across your desk, you looking at it like, because you already know, like, that got to be one of us. I want to try to give them the shot. But think about it this way: they do the same exact things. You'll be surprised how many times I've went to meet with a client and it's, wait a minute, you're Justin? Yes. Like they shocked. Like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, well, what were you expecting? Like just flip it back on them and let them address you, or let them show who they truly are, right? But now it's changing and it's becoming more accepting, but still we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard than what they do, is what my point is. And that's why I feel like there's no such thing as being too black. Now, somebody come in my office and like, oh, what up? Yeah, I'm like, hey, shut up. Let's talk about this. Let's look. We here, but in this environment, in this setting, we got to make sure they understand that, okay, those two got it together. Those two ain't what we expected. Those two ain't what we hear on CNN or Fox NBC, or that's not what they are. But little do they know, when that happy hour will roll around, or when it's time to go ahead and get up out of here, we doing what we got to do. So that's all been my stance.
Hey, so two things I was thinking about, right? So one of the things I was thinking about, which I wish a lot of us need to start doing, but I feel like, if you see another troubled young black man or a black woman, even if you're a female, and you see somebody that's acting, for one, which I'm in a position, I see a lot of us I mean, they don't even say that. Like, they don't even try to have that conversation. They, matter of fact, I'm in a position where I see, the black people, they judge the other black people harder than they do the white people. And I just be
Oh,
like,
bro,
ain't this
yes.
about? I'll be like, are you kidding me? I thought we was truly here with it. And this y'all showing me, oh no, we not here with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, damn. So, but it's some people that when they got in that position, I feel like they've almost been brainwashed to think what I got going on is unprofessional. And they swear up and down, no, that ain't me. No, I'm this, that, and the third. And I'm like, no, because if you was, you would try to truly, like, for example, if I was in leadership position, I would tell, I was like, hey, can we have a one-on-one, or just call me right quick on my cell? And I'll say, hey,
Right.
bro, they trying to talk about getting you up out of here. Now I can help you as long as I can. Hey, but I need us to work, together type shit. You know what I'm saying? Have that conversation with them instead of, you judging that person more than Becky. And Becky done make the same mistakes, but because, Becky is opposite and you're trying your best to appease and to please white people, you know what I'm saying? Then you gonna just take like that's what you gonna do. And I feel like that's not right, and that's no matter. I mean, I'm speaking because I'm black. I'm not Hispanic. I'm not Chinese. I'm not white. I'm just speaking
Right.
for us as black people, because it happens with other races too. But I'm talking about specifically with us. So it needs to be more of we actually looking out for each other, because they definitely do that. They definitely
Oh, yeah.
call these meetings. They say, hey, we need to get together. And we need to get together because they is their third. So, hey, look, I'm gonna come for you, but just this time, hey, make sure we here with it. They say,
Right.
oh, okay, got you. But with some of us, with black people, I feel like sometimes, we don't do that. So that's number one. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I love that you brought that up, because that's one of the things that I mostly look forward to. Was when I started in this industry, bro, I had to bump my head and I had to get with the right people to understand and realize, hey, me take you up under my wing. Let me show you some things. Let me guide you. And a lot of that too really comes with us understanding and realizing. Open up your eyes and understand where you at. Open up your eyes and pay attention to the ones that are movers and shakers. Or pay attention to the ones that are making things happen, because those are the people that you need to sort of, I don't want to say mimic, but those are the people that you need to take advice from. Those are people that you need to have in your corner that's going to guide you and put you in certain positions. Because, man, throughout my career, I always had someone of my color and someone of my background and someone of my community that I felt totally comfortable calling, getting advice from, being able to lean on, being able to say, well, that's not how I would do it, but I get it. And we have that dialogue. And you're right, because it is so many times where people, especially us, when we get in a position of authority or a position of power, where we almost take each other as threats. Like, nah, I can't help you because I don't want you to take my position, or I don't want you to make me look crazy or make me look bad. But to your
Right.
point, bro, I do networking with my job, and I'm the social impact chair of my committee in my job. And bro, I did an event with what they call the young professionals, and it was nothing but a bunch of 22, 23-year-old, fresh out of college. Oh, we went and had dinner with the CEO, and we're on the fast track of being upper management. Where I was like, well, damn. So I always do that, and they don't even know what I'm doing, but I always position it so our people can see that. Our people can see, you see how they playing the game? This is why it's important that we look out for each other. This is why it's important that we have those conversations of, hey, As long as you show me and you willing to put forth that effort, I got you. I'm gonna make sure I do my part to help out however I can. And what that means is when I'm in a position or I'm in front of certain people, I'm name dropping you. I'm making sure that well, hey, Justin said this person is doing great work, or Justin said this person is blah blah blah. We need to really look into this person because they do it. To your point, you're absolutely right. They do it themselves all the time. And you find yourself, it's not really what you know, it's who you know. A lot of the times, that's what it is. It's who you know. So if you rubbing elbows with the right people, bro, a lot of doors can open up for you. Now, it's important that you know how to rub elbows the right way. It's important that you know and understand when you can approach people a certain way and when you can't. So for me, that's like that juggling act. That okay, I have to balance it and figure it out, right? And that's not only just work, that's in life in general, to be quite honest with you. But go ahead, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was something I had to definitely address and throw out there.
No, you're fine. No, and that's something that truly has to happen more, and just it's on one of them things to where when we get up in management, it's like, hey, remember how you feel now. Remember, because I'm like, dang, how you gonna really do this, that, and third to me? And we supposed to. And you know what? This job taught me, hey, all good. What they say? Well, all skin folk ain't kin folk or something like that. Ain't
Yep.
that the saying? So. Damn, hey, it's almost like you say, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Like, what's up, babe? How are you doing, Mr. Winfield? Or is that a third?
Right.
I'm trying to go right here. You know what I'm saying? But that's one. For real, I'll be like, okay, so we gonna act like okay. I said, okay, all right, okay. And so I'll play along with you. But here's another thing I want to bring up is we still have a lot of people that is in this older generation. Just for example, what's going on, Mr. BS3?
What up, Ben?
And I was gonna say, we have a lot of older people that's when it comes to the whole respect thing and showing respect, and like so I remember, and my dad's old school. And it's funny how I be talking about my dad's old school, but shit, man, your dad, we ain't gonna go there. So,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying?
he,
We ain't
he,
gonna go there.
he got your daddy by a minute, man.
Shit, yeah. But
My
I was
dad
gonna
could
say,
be your daddy's dad.
for real, I was gonna say, hey, because the oldest living relative I have is my grandma, which is my dad's dad, and she is 83 or like 84 or something. So that's not too much older than what your dad, because your dad's what, 79?
No,
71.
81.
I mean,
81.
shit. See, look at that. Look at
Yeah,
that. So,
he right there with him. Yeah.
yeah, so he right there with yeah. But anyway, I remember, I was talking to my dad and something like that, and I think he was getting on to me because I didn't put a Mr. or a Mrs. in front, of somebody's name. And I looked at it, I was like, that's a little, some of the things, because he was saying like, awesome, what happened to wearing a three-piece suit to interview? And I'm like, Dad, I ain't gonna lie. Nigga, we rocking polo shirts with a nice pair of jeans. We're not doing the whole three-piece suit for depends on the position, but none of the positions I'm applying for, that's some
It's
homework
not
as
required.
CEO. It's not required. I'm dressed appropriately, and then I remember, and not just here, but he was saying like, oh man, like they gon' this, that, and the third. And I was like, and I can remember, I'm like, hey, my dad, born in Mississippi, born in 1966, experienced a lot of racism back, and so that whole, showing respect, for the white man, is that and the third, it has definitely changed, especially where we're at. I mean, we're all in the Dallas Fort Worth area. We ain't in one
Mhm.
of these sundown towns or the majority. No, this is Dallas Fort Worth. Matter of fact, hell, I think I may need to look into it. We may be the majority. We may be. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up that stat and I'm talking about with the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. I'm gonna have to see what we got
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
But anyway, when it comes to just things like that, and sorry, that's my son, man. That's
I
I'm
heard.
sorry for that. That's my son, dog. But anyway, you have a lot of older people from the older generation. You know, they consider what I got going on. I'm dressing like whatever. I'm dressing like and I'm like, no, that's not it. That's just my style. As a matter of fact,
Right.
I don't know if he's in, but I remember H-Rap was saying how his mom used to bring him outside with just like a polo shirt. It was number polo shirt. Like what I got on is, what I'm saying, it's just not happening. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he can correct me if he's still in. If not, and I'll probably ask him maybe offline, just ask him, make sure I get it right, no disrespect. But some of the things, the music we listen to, it's all considered, just it just comes from a bad place. And I feel like that's the media's portrayal. I feel like, that's all you see getting locked up and this, that, and the third. You can be totally and that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Hell,
Right.
people look at me crazy because I say, man, I want me a 1986 Impala SS with them big ass rims on it. You know what I'm saying? A Cutlass is what your boy really want, because you want all. Well, because in our culture, especially in the 90s and early 2000s, that was the hustle man's car. That was the drug dealer's car. They had the
Right.
Cutlasses. They had the nice ass Cutlasses too. Them old school mobiles.
Yeah.
They used to get the big ass rims. Man, that shit was looking clean, and that's just a part. That's a part of our culture,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but actually, unfortunately, but not so unfortunately, that's a part of our culture, dressing like the drug dealer or the hustle man, because that's who we seen that had all the money. That's what we're exposed to, and it's not nothing, it's not a bad thing. It's just like, I'm like, this is what we're used to,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that whole thing of it's unprofessional. I'm just not a big fan of that word unless it's truly like it's clear cut unprofessional. Like we all in a Zoom call and you got a damn muscle tee on. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I just hope that maybe just like just getting from this conversation, I just hope people kind of maybe people, and which they slowly are, they're starting to embrace what we have going on in our culture, and everything we do is not unprofessional because of the media portrayal. Because if that's the situation, it's a lot of redneck country boys, they get buck wild, and they they get to talking like this, and I like to drink Mountain Dew, like all that, like it's like so yeah, so I
Nah,
just
I
so
feel
what,
you.
like, what I'm saying? So yeah,
So
man.
it was always one of those things where, and I guess maybe this is a little bit of old school mentality coming out of me as well, was that you were always told to don't dress for the job that you have or the job you're going for. Dress for the job that you want, right?
Right.
So when you put yourself in a position, especially like interviewing, right? If I'm going in and let's say I'm 20, 22, 23, whatever, and I'm starting at an entry level position. Well, I don't want to look like entry level
Entry level
material. I want to
position,
look at,
right?
I want you to view me and see me as, hey, this guy gets it. This guy understands. So, yeah, to your dad's point, and being that he's old school, that makes sense. Like, okay, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna, dress to impress is what they say, right? So everybody's not going to understand that culture. Even at certain places, if they can see you pull up, you're judged on what you pull up in, right? Like if you know, if you pull up in that 96 Impala with the rims on it, yeah, you may have some of us like, oh, I see you. That's what's up. But you gonna have them like, oh my God, what is that? Like, what? Whoa, whoa. You know, like too black at that point to your what the topic is. So
Hey, but that's
you
crazy how that's too black. But you know what? But and I'm sorry to cut you off. But see, that's considered too black. But when they get them big ass pickup trucks and them shits be goddamn 3 stories tall, motherfuckers need a ladder to climb up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, so is that not practical? Cause hell, shit, man, I seen somebody at the gas station. I swear that shit looked like a monster truck. I swear to God, they were so damn tall. They could have literally touched the goddamn roof of the quick trip. They could have touched the cube. I said, damn,
oh
you know.
man.
But
Yeah.
I said, hey, but you know what? In some places, that's considered all right. That's the country boy. That's the. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm sorry to cut you off, man. But go ahead, dog.
Nah, you right though. It's and even then, like, you know, certain things like, okay, even if it is one of those things of, all right, let me confuse you a little bit, right? So if it is like, okay, I got the old school, I got the Cutlass, I'm not gonna pull up to my interview in it. I'm a, you know, if I gotta hit up my you know, my sister or hit up somebody to be like, hey, let me use your car because I'm going to this interview and I know they're gonna be able to see me and I don't want any type of judgment, right? But let me land that job. Let me pull up to work. The same person you interview, the car doesn't change me, right? Like I'm still the same person, but I know what's appealing and what is quote unquote acceptable to society, right? So society tells you, oh, well, he got this Cutlass and he got that beat in the back, and you know, I don't think we want that representing our company. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up in a, you know, like just throwing it hypothetically speaking. Let me pull up in a you know, a Tahoe with nothing on it, no, you know, just a standard Tahoe. Let me do that until I get to where I need to be, until I get the job or whatever. And then let me not necessarily just throw it all out there at once, but then let me get a feel of where we headed. What's going on here? What's the work environment? What's the perception that, you know, people are giving off, or what are people seeing of me? But always know, especially us as Black people, you got that target on your back to begin with. You're walking into an environment where they're expecting you to be something that you're maybe not. So, with that being said, you have to understand and realize that you already have that target on you, and the perception is, okay, you're going to be late, or okay, you're going to be loud, or okay, you may get offended, or you may say something that people, you know, don't know how to respond to it, or may not know how to really approach you. So even in our day to day, like, it's so difficult. Like I told you the last time, man, like going to Walmart or going to stores and being approachable, just having a smile on my face, being able to, you know, wave to a stranger, or hello, how are you today, sir? Or how are you today, ma'am? Those little things go a long way, especially with your stature, CJ. You'll see this. Like, people are naturally going to be intimidated by you and think that, oh my God, big Black man, like, oh, you pose a threat. But if you let them see the CJ that we know, the CJ that I know, which is a good-hearted brother, bro, he ain't to be played with, but at the same time, he's one of those ones he'll chop it up with you. You just gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you stand on your square. And that's something that I always say that we needed to do more of as a community. It goes back to what I was saying about my boss telling me be Bruce Wayne. Nobody knew he was Batman. When he left, when he had to go fight the Joker and stuff, he became Batman. But Bruce Wayne, put together, you wouldn't know. You just look at him and think he a rich dude that's mysterious. But Batman, everybody felt like they had a piece of Batman, right? So
Yeah.
that's what we have to be. And I hate to say unfortunately, but for us, we have to use that, flip it on them. Don't use that as, oh, that's my, that's my downfall, or oh, it ain't right how they do me. Flip it on them. Cool. You don't need to know about me, but the people that do need to know about me, I'm gonna make sure they know about me. I'm gonna make sure those, like you said, those young people that I mentor, or those young people that are coming into, whether it's a company, whether it's a church, whatever, whether it's coming into your family, talk to them, pull them aside, mentor them, let them know this is how you move, this is how you don't move. And Jay-Z said it best, know how to move in a room full of vultures. Because honestly, that's what they are. They're looking at you as an asset. What can we get you to do, or what can we get out of you that's going to better this company? And you alluded to that earlier when you said, these companies are now looking at people saying, well, that's not the demographic that we're going for. And now that we're becoming more of the majority, they need us. They want that. The whole George Floyd thing, God rest his soul, but that brought awareness to diversity within these companies, and they have to address that. So you'll see more of us in positions. You're going to get more of us on the forefront. But my best advice to us that do get those positions or do get put on the forefront, don't drop the ball. Don't let your brother down. Don't let the person that's coming behind you, don't let them down because your pride or your ego, or you got pissed off, or you got upset about something that Billy or Joe said. Like, damn that, because it's a bigger picture for us. And until we get in those positions, or until we get to what we know we deserve to be, you got to know how to play the game. And that's just what it is. But you can also make the game adapt and adjust, which we have done within our culture alone. That's why you don't see neckties. That's why you're seeing, man, I just had a company, a meeting the other day, and they were in, the Blazers, no ties, and had on Adidas shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, having somebody that's of higher stature executive tell you, man, I haven't worn tennis shoes and I don't know how long. Feel good, don't it? Don't feel good wearing hard all the time. Feel good to put them tennis shoes on. But nothing changes.
And just wrapping it up, that's one of my, and actually, man, it's just crazy how a lot of people, and to be honest, Jordans and Adidas, especially the NMDs, which if y'all know what I'm talking about, I got a pair I used to wear right here, these all white NMDs. They're a little dirty, but it's all good. But at one point, these things was crystal cocaine white. You wear these with a nice little, you can wear it with jeans, nice little blazer. And you're right, wearing all them pointy ass shoes. You can do that, but hell, I see people nowadays, they rocking Jordan 1s. They rocking with a blazer, and it can, I'm seeing people with the Adidas. I'm seeing people with New Balance on, instead of, coming in here, hell, it'd be 100 degrees. People still want to throw on a 3-piece. I say, shit, nah, so kind of just wrapping up in the final thoughts. And also, I wanted to ask you, as I'll wait till you finish with your final thoughts. But my final thought is, I just, it's okay to always be yourself. And for those, because I have a feeling about certain shit, and I'm like, you know what? Well, for one, I'm trying to do my own thing, and but when I become, a dark police officer, and when I'm, up in the ranks, and when I'm, at a certain point, I'm gonna remember how it feels like to be, the new cop. Now, fortunately, I'm going into Dart, and that's the reason why I specifically chose Dart, because it's a lot of us in there already. And I know a lot of people that's, what I'm saying, and we're actually the majority in there. Same thing with Dallas PD. That's why a lot of us go to Dallas before we ever think about going to Arlington Irving, Fort Worth. We all trying to go in. I know people that's in Fort Worth. They go to Dallas, Dallas Police. They're like, nah, I ain't even, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna try it. But anyway, I would just say, just remember how you feel, you know, when you ain't got nothing going on, and then you be the change. Once you're in that position of power and you find somebody that's just like you that was in your seat, maybe even a year ago or 3 years or however long, you pull that dude or you pull that lady aside, be like, hey, like, where you from? They try to be official. I'm like, no, look. Where are you from? Like, talk to me, you know, because I want to try to get you right. So just remember that, and there is nothing wrong with being yourself. Unfortunately, we have to maybe alter some things, but there is nothing wrong with being yourself, especially if your work proves it.
Absolutely. And that would be, for me to piggyback off what you said, it's nothing wrong with being authentic. It's nothing wrong with being true to who you are. But understand and realize that there's a time and place for everything. And, you know, like you said, remember where you started from. Always remember where you come from. Because if you don't remember where you come from, you're never going to make it to where you're going anyway. So always have that in your mind. Always be that person that people can approach and look for guidance is always my thing. It's several people that me and you both know within the network, within BS3 network, that can give you gems all day on guidance. And not only that, but CJ, even though you younger than me, it's still words, it's still things that you say and things that you do that I implement in my life, because I'm never too old to stop learning. And you don't have to have a certain age range in order to teach someone or to be an inspiration to someone. So that's really all I got. Anything else you got, CJ?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask you specifically, man, what you got going on this weekend?
Oh, Sunday I got a play to attend. Saturday,
Okay, well, I really meant Saturday, but you know what you got going on?
The fight Saturday, right?
Huh?
Is when is Tank Johnson fight?
Is it this Saturday?
I don't know. We gotta look that up. I need to know.
Tank, I got you versus Garcia.
Yeah.
Man, I heard. I'm gonna look it up because what I'm looking at, that ain't. Oh, it's April. That can't be right. I'm seeing something that says the 22nd. That's a Wednesday. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't, because I'm gonna have to look that up because I don't know if that can't be right. Why y'all?
Nah, that don't sound right. They already doing press conferences and stuff, bro. Something ain't right.
So there. I'm gonna have to look it. I'm gonna look that up. But Oh, okay. Well, no, I was asking because because Ava, she gonna be doing her class thing or whatever, and I'm gonna have Kaden, you know what I'm saying, at my mom's. So I didn't know if you had something going on. Depending, just see what it's like up there. I heard it's supposed to be weather, you know what I'm saying. But if you was just free, just gonna see what you had going on, just chat with you, man. That's all it is, man. I ain't seen it, man.
Oh, yeah.
And then them drinks you was making, man, them what you call it, them man,
the French 75.
Hey, Deuce, say I need to learn how to make this. Give me the recipe, something, man. That shit was good. I'm trying to get on those again. Yeah.
I got you. Nah, I'll get at you for sure tomorrow. Let you know what's up.
Yeah,
man, I really want to make a Oklahoma run, man. My hands itching. I feel like something coming my way, and I be seeing.
Hey. All right.
Hey, yeah, we gonna discuss.
All right, got you.
All right, man. We gonna go ahead and jump out of here, good people. Thank y'all for another episode of Elevate. Until next week, holla.